What's up, guys? My name's Renegade, and welcome to RGR. As always, if you have any recommendations of how I can make this channel better through anything at all, through my ranking system or anything else that comes to mind, drop it in the comments, let me know, and also let me know if you have any game suggestions you want me to play. And today I will be reviewing Ghost of Yotei. And now, forewarning, there's going to be some rants in this video. I've seen people complain about the dumbest things from some YouTube videos I watched, and I want to address some of it here. So, rant warning, crash out warning, get ready. So the game utilizes the PS5 controller very well. Anything from blacksmithing to cooking food to starting fires or even drawing some portraits, the game utilizes the controller very well. Now, I saw people complaining about how, oh, this game uses gimmicks and stuff with the controller, blah, blah, blah. That's so dumb. You can toggle all of it on and off. Like, you do not have to do any of it if you don't want to. So I don't know why people complain about something that you could just turn off if you don't like it. It's just a cool little addition that they put in the game. There's nothing wrong with it. Now, my big rant comes from people forcing politics onto this game. I hate that so much. I'm a man from Arkansas, so you know which way I lean politically, probably, and I say lean. This game does not force any agendas. Like, I hate it when developers force agendas down your throat, like with Dragon Age the Veilguard. That was rightfully fought back against, but this game is not that. The problem is you're playing as a female main character, so people just lose it automatically for no reason. It's so dumb. This game is not an all men are bad game. Most of your allies are good men, and you also fight bad women in the game. It's not a women versus men. People just see woman main character and lose their minds. It's so dumb. I don't want developers forcing politics down my throat, so I'm not going to force politics onto a game that does not deserve it. It makes no sense. And another problem is I see people complaining about the combat system, that they force you to use weapons against certain opponents. Ghost of Tsushima, they had stances that worked better against some enemies than others, just like this game has weapons that works better against some enemies than others. The game doesn't force you. You can use one weapon the entire game once you unlock it. It doesn't force you to use. Sure, it might not be as effective against certain opponents, but that's real life. Like, some weapons work better against other weapons. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't see why people complain about it. It does not force you into anything. You just might not be quite as effective. And also, they built onto what worked in this game. Not every game has to reinvent the wheel. Like, this game is a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, so it is going to be similar in a lot of ways. And they build onto that. People expect, oh, it's not good because it didn't do everything completely different and move. Like, why would they do that? Ghost of Tsushima was successful. So why would they make this game so much different? They just made it slightly better in a lot of aspects. And maybe to some, slightly worse. It just depends on your opinion. But there's never any expectation of them to reinvent the wheel with this game. That would make absolutely zero sense. Now, with those out of the way, sorry for rambling, but let's get to the ratings. So, gameplay. I love this game. It did very well with the gameplay. It had me hooked through the whole game. I had 69 hours, and I beat main story and pretty much every side thing you can do in the game. Almost everything. Probably not everything. But 69 hours, so plenty of game to be played here. And the wolf, so not too big of a spoiler, but you have like a wolf companion in this game. But it's not like, I think they did it very well. It's not something that you constantly control. It's basically random when the wolf shows up to help you or not. So I really love how they did that. I don't really like having animal companions that I have to point to go here, point to go there. It's kind of annoying, so I'm glad they did it that way. And I like the weapon system. There's a lot more weapons to go through in this game, from dual katanas. You have a giant odachi for all you Guts fans. If you want to be Guts in this game, you can. Kasurigama, a spear, and katana. And I just think they did it very well. Like, sure, some weapons work better against some enemies than others, and that's fine. It makes sense. So I gave gameplay a 9.5 out of 10. Alright, there's no multiplayer slash co-op, so that does not get a rating. Story. So the one thing, I think the story in Tsushima is better, alright? This story, it's a revenge story. The Yotei 6 kills your family, and you go on a revenge quest to kill all of them. Very simple. It's not, again, doesn't have to reinvent the wheel. Everybody can relate to a revenge story. That's why so many games do it. It's very easy to relate to that. People kill your family, you want to go after them. And it works. That's why a lot of games do it. And this game does it very well. This story is very well drawn out. The one thing that I like better in Tsushima, so Tsushima lets you become the ghost, you know. You start off not very good and you get better and better and you become the ghost. This game basically tells you how Atsu became the ghost, and then you jump into the game. And now you do get more powerful throughout the game, but I would have liked to become the ghost in this game like we were able to in Ghost of Tsushima. So I also gave it a -1 for some story choices in Chapter 3 that I personally did not like. For some reason in Chapter 3 they kind of switched it around. It was very, I don't know, I'll let y'all figure it out when you play it. I won't spoil anything, but I gave it a -1 for that. So story gets a 7 out of 10. Replayability, I'm not giving a replayability score because there's not really any, you do everything the first time through. The story is linear. It's an open world game, but the story itself is linear. There's not really options. So there's no reason to give it a replayability score because there's not really any unless you just want to keep playing around in the open world. Monetary value at $70, I think that's great. I mean, like I said, I had almost 70 hours playing this. So there's a lot of time. It's very well worth your money. I gave monetary value an 8 out of 10. Now on to fun, just overall fun, because that's the most important score rating at the end of the day. Overall fun, I gave it a 9 out of 10. If you like Ghost of Tsushima, you're gonna love this game. Very simple. If you don't lose your mind at playing a female character, you'll have a lot of fun with this game. So that brings the overall rating to an 8.38 out of 10. I know a lot of these games that I've been reviewing, they've been getting high scores because I've liked all these newer games that have been coming out. But trust me, I'll be getting to some reviews that I trash on. And some people will probably be upset about some of the games I didn't give the highest scores to. But that's okay. Alright, thanks for sticking with me through my little rant. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have anything that you'd like to drop in the comments, any constructive criticisms, any way I can make these videos better, or if you just want to recommend me a game, I've already had somebody recommend me BioShock, which I will probably be dropping a video on next week. Also, let me know if I should I'm thinking about doing 2 videos a week, just until I go back to work. Right now I'm sitting home with a broken ankle, so I have time, so I can do 2 videos a week. Until I go back to work, then it'll be back down to 1, but I don't know, just something I've been thinking on. Drop in the comments any ideas you have. Thank you, I'll see you in the next one.